had this Bible since I was about 10 years old, and there have just been seasons of life where I practically lived inside these pages. It just means a lot to me. It was a gift from my dad, and I couldn't imagine reading out of any other Bible. And so that's why the night that it was taken in South Africa, it wasn't that easy for me to just move on. It was the summer of 2010, and my university had sent us out to work with orphans affected by AIDS. And the last night of ministry, we were coming up the road to our camp, and my professor rolled down his window to type in the code to let us into the gate. And as he did, a man suddenly grabbed his hand and had a gun in his face. And on the other side, we heard tapping. There was another man with another gun. It was moments later that the sliding door opened, and there was a man with a mask, and he was just yelling, you know, "Get down, get down, get down." My feet may fail and fear surrounds me. There had been on the news a story about 9 Americans in the same make and model van who had recently just been pulled over, shot and killed. There were 9 of us. I figured, this is it. This is the rest of my life, these few moments. This is where it ends for me. And I just made peace with that it was the end. But God had different plans. Not a one of us were killed. None of us were hurt. I remember praying, God, it's okay that they took my money, that they took, you know, my camera, my passport, everything that gives me an identity according to the world standards. I don't mind, that's fine. But it bothered me that my Bible was taken. I began to pray, Lord, please bring that Bible back. So the pastor told my professor on the phone, we found some random belongings nearby where we found your tracking device, and it was right on the border to Mozambique. When we met up with the pastor, he gave us this bag of random items. My Bible was in the bag. Ever since that day, Mozambique has been on my heart. It wasn't long after that that I heard about Iris Ministries and Roland and Heidi Baker. This summer, I have the opportunity to attend the Harvest School of Missions in Pemba, Mozambique from June 1st to August 5th. Iris Harvest School is a spirit-filled and spirit-led, hands-on, in the dirt, evangelistic missions training school. To get there, it'll cost $7,000 for airfare, tuition, and other travel expenses. He said to his disciples, the harvest is so great, but the workers are so few. So pray to the Lord who's in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send out more workers for his fields. Thank you again for supporting me as I prepare to follow this call. And you can be sure this Bible's coming with me for the ride.
Hi, I'm Trent.
And I'm Brant, and you're about to get tapped in.
Today we're checking out SoCal's newest brewery, Old Orange Brewery.
Old Orange was opened about a year ago by 4 high school buddies born and raised right here in Orange, California.
After high school, they split, but ultimately got back together to create this fun, laid-back brewery.
Old Orange has 8 beers on tap, and they try to make beers that everyone can enjoy. So whether you're in the mood for a sessionable, light beer, or maybe a hard-hitting double IPA, they've got a beer just for you.
I say, Brant, let's quit the talking, let's go in and check it out.
Let's do it.
So Katie, could you tell me a little bit about the most popular beer here?
I would have to say the Cannonball IPA. A lot of people like that, and since they changed it to the higher alcohol content, people are really enjoying that one.
Okay. So guys, can you tell me a little bit about the atmosphere here?
This is definitely a community-based tasting room. I mean, it's a very casual atmosphere.
So Jerry, I heard there's a fun story about this bar. Could you tell me about that?
We really wanted to get a circular bar in here. Right as we were going to start building it out of 2x4s ourselves, a restaurant in West Hollywood closed and was being gutted. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that's perfect. It's actually a circular bar. However, our budget was really tight and the guy wanted $1,000 for it. So I had to tell him no. And I said, well, you know, we'll have to pass, but if you change your mind and you just want us to come pick it up and get it out of your way, you know, we'll do that for sure. So I left, and about 20 minutes later, he called me back and said, come pick it up, just get it out of here. And it really accomplished everything that we had envisioned.
I really enjoy the artwork on the beer labels.
Cannonball is one that's really close to my heart. Cannonball was my brother's nickname. He was killed in a tragic cycling accident a few years ago. His writing group really stepped up to the plate and supported my brother's family. We created our Cannonball IPA in honor of those guys and of my brother.
And so pretty much every beer that comes out of here that's producing here is made by you.
Yeah, I make all the beers, so every beer that I drink and everyone else drinks, I've had my hands on at one point or another.
How did you get started into the business?
I was serving in Iraq in the Army, and I got an email from one of my friends, said, you want to buy a brewery? And I'm like, I didn't really know how to answer that. So I basically gave him a call, said, what's going on? He's like, we're going to buy a brewery, you want in? And I'm like, sure, why not?
Can you talk a little bit about creating the recipes and how you come up with the beer that's brewed here?
You know, initially we just wanted to make beers that we like to drink. So that's kind of every style we make or beer that we make. The four owners sit, we have to basically get a thumbs up on it. And it's just beer that we like, and luckily the community of Orange likes it too. So it's working out well.
Yeah. And what's your favorite beer?
I drink the Thumbmaster Double IPA. So yeah, that's my, if I had to make a perfect beer, that would be the beer. As far as being super malty, have the huge hops in it.
So what was the very first beer that you brewed in the facility here?
The Street Fair Summer Ale was actually the first beer we brewed. That was, wow, it's quite a while ago. I guess about a year and a half ago is when we brewed that. So, and it's one of our first 3 beers with the Old Dummy and the IPA. So that's the first beer we brewed. We brewed the IPA second and the Old Dummy third, and those were kind of the 3 recipes we had set up for opening. Kind of went fast from there.
The atmosphere is great. It's very low stress, low key. Just come down, be yourself, and enjoy a good beer.
It's a cool spot to hang out, get a brew, got the TV going, it's just kind of a low-key place.
It's chill, it's close to work. People that are serving are very nice and very knowledgeable, and they have very good beer.
I love Old Orange. Their beer's great. The community feel, the art, everything about it is great. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree, Brant. They don't only have 3 beers, 5 beers, they have 8 home brews. I think it's great. It's got a great community feel. There's all types of people here, all ages.
And the beer really holds true to what the brewery tries to do, is to create a beer for everybody. Thanks for getting tapped in.
We'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
big swell in the senior population is expected to happen by the year 2025. At that time, an estimated 1 in 4 Montanans will be over the age of 65. However, the increases are already starting, and they're having a big impact on the healthcare industry. There you go. A pelvic injury 2 months ago forced 91-year-old Kitty Brond off her feet.
I fell down like 1 out of 3 adults do every year.
Thanks to help from several healthcare workers at Missouri River Care and Rehabilitation, she's now able to stand again.
It was so wonderful to be able to stand up again.
State statistics show that Kitty is just one of more than 200,000 seniors, all of whom could need healthcare services. And that number continues to grow.
In Montana, 35 people are turning 65 years old every day.
Many factors are contributing to the larger population group, including advances in medical technology.
We have better treatments for cancer. We have better treatments for diabetes.
Missouri River Care has expanded its facility to meet the growing need. In the last 3 years, the rehab center alone has gone from 22 beds to 62 private rooms.
The demand of it is so much greater. Skilled nursing homes just aren't for end-of-life population any longer.
With the increased need for healthcare services comes a need for more healthcare workers, which was good news for both Marnie Reisenauer and Jessica Hendricks, who recently entered the job market.
I've gotten several recruiter calls about positions available across the United States.
I get calls probably at least once or twice a day with people calling me saying, hey, I've got travel positions all over the country.
Rung says right now the state isn't having a hard time recruiting healthcare workers, but that could change as the rest of the country's aging population also continues to rise.
In the future, it could be that we have to be more competitive with the larger areas, and that's always going to be a challenge.
For Kitty, adequate healthcare services were crucial to her recovery.
We are very, very lucky to have this therapy.
I'll continue this series next week with a look at how the state's increasing senior population could affect housing. On special assignment, Kay Rossi for Montana's news station.